All right, hello, welcome. This is the introductory video for the Kinesiology 4130 Foods and Nutrition class at CSU Stanislaus. I'm Derek Marks. I'm your instructor for the class this semester, and this is for the fall 2015 semester. I'm going to spend the next 10 minutes or so sort of talking about the logistics of the class, introducing some of the assessments, going over the syllabus real quickly just to make sure everybody's well informed on how to get started. First, a little bit about myself. I am currently working at the Australian College of Physical Education in Sydney, Australia. I just started this past summer, so summer 2015. The 9 years previous, I was working at St. Mary's College in Moraga, California, so not too far from Turlock. And then before that, I was actually at Stan State in Turlock from 2003 to 2006. And I actually taught this class back during those 3 years I was at CSU Stanislaus, and I'm very, very excited to be teaching it again. Even if it's on an online format, how else could I connect with you from 5,000 miles away? So, you know, one thing I want to express, and really and it kind of falls in line with my goals of the class, and really I want to provide you with a really engaging and interactive sort of environment to maximize your understanding and learning of everything to do with nutrition. I have a passion for nutrition. I've been teaching it for over 12 years now at the college level. I got my bachelor's degree in nutrition. I actually got my PhD in exercise physiology. But even through the path of getting my master's and PhD, nutrition was a very big part of that. And so I really believe that, you know, food is medicine, but it can also be a very, very slow poison. And so really making smart decisions about the foods that we put in our body and understanding how they're going to affect our health is the basis of this class. We'll cover sort of our standard nutrition information, which is through the Think textbook. But we'll also cover a little bit more of an alternative approach. And I don't like to use the word alternative, but a little more progressive approach. And that's the book, The Dark Side of Fat Loss by Sean Croxton. And that book's been provided to you for free. The link to it, it's a PDF file. It's on the Blackboard page. It's an amazing book. Please, please, please read it. Please share it with your family, your friends, whoever you want to share it with. To me, I've been using that textbook in my nutrition classes at St. Mary's and now here at ACE-PE for about the last 4 years, and it's a game changer. It is a life changer without a doubt. So, moving forward a bit, obviously the entire class is online. We're using the Blackboard program to facilitate all interactions for the most part. Once you get to the Blackboard page for the class, please explore the syllabus. I'd say that's your best sort of starting point to get going. My information is on there. You know, getting a hold of me via phone isn't probably the best idea unless you have a really good international plan, which mine's okay. So emailing me is going to be your best route for communicating, no doubt about it. Moving down, I'm just looking at the syllabus right now, but, you know, getting to the course and administrative requirements, I have sort of sectioned off what the different lectures are and the reading material for them. So you'll notice the class is sectioned off into 10 different units or 10 lectures. All of them have either a combination of a Think textbook reading with the Dark Side of Fat Loss or just the Think reading. There's a few weeks where we don't mess with the dark side just because we're focused on other stuff. So please take a good look at that. Following that portion, there is information about your assessments and what we're going to be doing this term in terms of assessments. We're going to be doing short online quizzes every 2 weeks, or about every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks or so. There's going to be 5 of them. And those quizzes are just going to be brief quizzes, 10 questions. You're going to have 10 minutes to do them. And they're based on that week's or that unit's reading material. And so those are going to be pretty straightforward. Again, straight from the reading material, nothing fancy about that. There will be 3 exams. They're all going to be multiple guess exams. Not necessarily my favorite format for doing exams, but it works in this online context, I have to be honest. So the 3 exams will be worth about 50 points each, or they will be worth 50 points each in your overall grade. And those are sort of spread evenly throughout the term. The last one does come during finals week. And then there are also 4 homework assignments and they're pretty interactive. They're pretty engaging for the most part. I've conglomerated, sort of condensed one of my four of my normal assessments into one for you. So there's one really big homework assignment in there. But generally speaking, the homework assignments are pretty straightforward. Go to the assessments or assignments link, the assignments link on Blackboard, and there will be a detailed description of what you need to do for all those. Bear in mind, it's the 24-hour recall assignment that has 4 portions. It includes 4 days of you doing a dietary recall and then writing up information based on that. The other 3 assignments are ones that you can kind of complete in one day. They do involve, one of them involves you going to the grocery store, so hopefully you have a means to do that. Evaluation and grading is pretty straightforward. That's all stuff that you can read over. Here's something important I want to point out, and I did mention it in one of my earlier announcements on the Blackboard page. There is a section that covers important dates. A couple of those important dates are wrong, and so please ignore that. And they're kind of color-coded: green for homework assignments, red for quizzes, and yellow for exams. I've changed that, and just below that section on the syllabus is a calendar. That calendar is accurate and up to date, so please use that calendar as your main resource for when assignments are due and when lectures are happening. I've spread the lectures out, if you see on the calendar, 2 lectures every 3 weeks. I think that gives you adequate time to watch the lectures online. As a side note, the first 3 lectures I recorded in my office at St. Mary's or even at home, and it was painful, I have to be honest. Painful for me, and I imagine if it's painful for me, you listening to them is probably going to be painful as well. So good luck with those. It's just incredibly awkward to be talking to yourself or talking to a PowerPoint with nobody around. But after the 3rd one or 4th one, I think, I've started to record my lectures here at the Australian College of Physical Education in my nutrition class for the content that's relevant to you all. So the lectures that you get after, I think, the 3rd one are going to be from lectures that I give here. Please, please, please bear in mind that there's going to be information that I share there that may not overlap 100% with what you're doing in class. So really just take the content that's relevant to the slides, because I think it is important for you to hear the extra discussion that goes on beyond what's on the slides themselves. And I do try and use the slides as a template, but really speak about what's on the slide and not just read the slide. I'm not necessarily a slide reader for the most part. But those lectures recorded here at ACE-PE, some of them, and I'm working on it, but some of them just include 10, 15 minutes of nothing or just discussion with students after a lecture's over. So I'm doing my best to trim those down. Just be mindful of that. The PowerPoints are there. I've also provided you with outlines of the PowerPoints for note-taking purposes, so you can use those. The PDFs, which are like in a note-taking file on the Blackboard, and you can use those to take notes to help add additional information from the lectures. Moving on, so use the calendar. The calendar is fantastic. There is also a calendar that I put on the Blackboard page. It's a link on the left column, I think, for you. You can use that calendar. I suggest you print it. I think I'm going to make sure it doesn't change. Towards the end of the term, things get a little hairy in terms of Thanksgiving week and then the beginning of December, which is when finals are. And so things get a little bit condensed at the end of the term. So have a look at that. In a 3-week span, you do have a lecture, a homework, a quiz, and your final. And so that is probably the most condensed part of the semesters at the end, which I know isn't optimal, but for that you kind of have a pretty good distribution of work throughout the rest of the semester. I've tried to arrange it, and this is one thing with the calendar, I'm trying to keep you engaged throughout the term. I'm going to do my best to send you reminders the weeks that more important things are due, but please don't rely on me for that. So it is up to you to stay on top of the class, but I want to do my best to engage you. I prefer face-to-face. This online thing is still new for a lot of us. I will post discussion questions, and to me, one of the biggest values of especially the dark side of fat loss, but the most important thing about nutrition in general is really discussing it, because there's never necessarily an absolute right or an absolute wrong way to do it, but different ways to meet different goals. And so I will do my best to sort of to post discussion questions, and I really want to encourage you to participate in them. Throw in your 2 cents, right? This is a relatively sheltered environment. You're not putting yourself at risk necessarily. I will make sure and moderate discussions to make sure they stay respectful. I'm not associating any assessment points, so there's no points associated with these discussions. However, California universities, they don't do this in Australia, which is really frustrating, but I have the flexibility to say, look, for those of you that participate in these discussion forums, and I posted one today, you will be rewarded extra credit at the end of the term if you need it. And so if you're in a situation where you're on the borderline, B plus, A minus, or C plus, B minus, even whatever, I will look back and I can track your participation in those discussions. So please take advantage, and really just more for the good of the class and your understanding of nutrition. I think it's good for you to participate. I don't have anything else. I wish you all the best of luck throughout the term. Please don't hesitate to contact me. Again, email is going to be the best, and we'll see you soon.